last video, I spoke on matters concerning one of the topics that we are taught that we're not supposed to touch on. And that is being religion, spirituality. Now, if you go along with the narrative and the cheerleading section of those who like to label people based off what they believe or they don't believe, then one might think that I'm a tradcon or whatever these fucking dummies like to call people who have any sort of moral value or compass. But the truth is I don't subscribe to any one philosophy of branding of anything. I've actually spent my life diving into different things, trying to understand, just really trying to get an understanding of what the fuck I'm here for, what my purpose is. And over the course of my maturation in becoming a man, I've gone through many different phases in my life where I didn't know anything, then I was indoctrinated with some things, and then I was put in a situation where I had to call into question everything, and that's where I kind of started to change some things. Well, one of my main reasons of going in on this is because I don't believe that anything that we're dealing with, any of this shit that we're experiencing in our culture that makes so many of us sick and that has got so many, especially men, outraged and depressed and sad and hopeless. I don't believe that it is. I don't believe that it's by accident. I don't believe that it is necessarily by human hands that this is happening. Now, I'm not trying to get anybody into buying into any particular brand of esoteric bullshit, because I think that the important thing is lost in the real purpose of spirituality, and that is no matter what your particular taste in your mouth is, when you have no agency higher than yourself, when all you are concerned is with what man does, with what man says, with what man orders you to do, then of course it is way easier to deny spirituality. And when spirituality or religion, when these things, basically what these things are is just rules. They're basic guidelines to keep structure, to keep society functioning. Because once you lose that moral base, that morality, that cohesion, then every society that's done this has gone to shit. And you can't point to any place on this planet where this hedonistic shit is all good and the society functions. It just doesn't work. But my main point of this touching on this topic and really putting the focus on this topic is because no matter what your particular opinion is about things, this is the one component, the one thing that everybody could do, and it would instantly change 99% of the problems that we face, especially those that we complain about in the manosphere. And that is simply follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's a simple rule, and most religions are based on that very simple thing, that very simple concept of humanity. Just do unto others what you would wish them to do to you. That's very, very simple, but it's become impossible because we can't see past ourselves. We can't see past what we have been taught, and a lot of people are just regurgitating bullshit from bullshit artists. It's gotten to the point to where our society is crippled. We are ripped apart at every seam that used to be sewn together, and this has been foretold. It's been talked about, prophecy after prophecy after prophecy. And I believe that the problem with the way that we see things in the West is because we're so materialistic and so egocentric, so narcissistic, so arrogant in what we believe that we are, that we believe that we are higher than anything outside of our leaders, our masters. And so we fall on science and all of these things which are constantly being proven false to new knowledge and new understanding of things. But yet we put faith in these things and don't put faith in things that have no explanation. We just wish to blow these things under the rug. But where we are in society today, I believe that we are at one of those tipping points in humanity, that what we do as humans, what we do as men, is going to matter. And what we choose not to do, if we choose not to do anything of real value, then that will have consequences as well that will ring through our future. I want to read something in closing this, and this isn't, again, it's not to try to get anybody involved in any particular ideology. I just want to read something that goes back way before Jesus' time, and I believe talks about the time, the period that we're in right now, and what needs to happen in this purge, if you will. What this is a lament from Hermes to one of his pupils named Asclepius. He says, "Do you know, Asclepius, that Egypt is an image of heaven? Or to speak more exactly, in Egypt all the operations of powers which rule and work in heaven are present in the earth below. In fact, it should be said that the whole cosmos dwells in this land as in a sanctuary. And yet, since it is fitting that wise men should have knowledge of all events before they come to pass, you must not be left in ignorance of what I will tell you now. There will come a time when it will have been in vain that Egyptians have honored the Godhead with heartfelt piety and service, and all our holy worship will be fruitless and ineffectual. The gods will return from earth to heaven. Egypt will be forsaken, and the land which was once the home of religion will be left desolate, bereft of the presence of its deities. O Egypt, Egypt, of thy religion nothing will remain but empty tale, which thine own children in time will not believe. Nothing will be left but graven words, and only the stones tell of thy piety. And in that day men will be weary of life, and they will cease to think of the universe worthy of reverent wonder and worship. They will no longer love this world around us, this incomparable work of God, this glorious structure which he has built, this sum of good made up of many diverse forms, this instrument whereby the will of God operates in that which he has made, ungrudgingly favoring man's welfare, this combination and accumulation of all the manifold things that call forth the veneration, praise, and love of the beholder. Darkness will be preferred to light, and death will be thought more profitable than life. No one will raise his eyes to heaven. The pious will be deemed insane, the impious wise, the madman will be thought brave, and the wicked will be esteemed as good. As for the soul, and the belief that it is immortal by nature, or the hope to attain immortality, as I have taught you, all this they will mock, and even persuade themselves that it is false. No word of reverence or piety, no utterance worthy of heaven will be heard or believed. And so the gods will depart from mankind, a grievous thing, and only evil angels will remain to mingle with men, and drive the poor wretches into all manner of reckless crime, into wars and robberies and frauds, and all things hostile to the natural soul. Then the earth will tremble, the sea shall bear no ships. Heaven will not support the stars in their orbits. All the voices of gods will be forced into silence. The fruits of the earth will rot. The soil will be barren, and the very air will sicken with sullen stagnation. All things will be disordered in array. All good will disappear. But when all this is befallen, Asclepius, then God, the creator of all things, will look on which has come to pass, and will stop the disorder by counterforce of his will, which is the good. He will call back the right to the path who have gone astray. He will cleanse the world of evil, washing it away with floods, burning it out with the fiercest fire, and expelling it with war and pestilence. And thus he will bring back order to his former aspect, so that the cosmos will once more be deemed worthy of worship and wondering reverence, and God, the maker and the maintainer of the mighty fabric will be adored by men of that day with continuous songs of praise and blessings. Such is the new birth of the cosmos. It is a making again of all things good, a holy and awe-inspiring restoration of all of nature, and it's wrought inside the process of time by the eternal will of the Creator. We are in a spiritual battle, and if you can't see that, if you have deluded yourself into believing bullshit artists and this postmodern new age of me, then the price that you're going to pay in the next coming years is going to be beyond anything that you can possibly understand. If you can't see the writing on the wall, I'm not talking about any revelational, any of that shit. I'm not talking about any of that. Let's scrape all of that to the side, gentlemen. What's coming to us, what we're already saying, what's going to come to our country, if men accept it, is going to make what happened in Germany look like a fucking summer camp picnic. Again, I'm not saying that you need to go grab any sort of religion or any of that. What I am saying is it's obvious that there are evil forces outside of what we can see that are at play. Our world is sick. The sickness is coming from somewhere. Okay? We got to understand that. That's what we have to understand. So I'm not telling you to pray to anyone. All I'm saying is close your eyes, shut your fucking mouth for a little while, and listen. Listen with your heart. Listen with your heart and let your soul take in the information. There's information out there. I know this sounds esoteric. It sounds like woo-woo shit, but I don't believe that it is. And I really believe that if men do not stand up and start to stand for something, we cannot most be good when the world is the way it is. When the things that we complain about are the way they are, it's got to be because most of us are not good. That's the way that shit works. If the majority of people demand something be, then it will be so. So the majority of men have accepted things to be the way they are. And that acceptance has been because our culture has been appropriated by snakes and fucking criminals. It's time to take these false prophets off their fucking pedestals, from the church to whoever you take in. I'm talking about every single motherfucker that's full of shit. Prosperity gospel's full of shit. That's what perpetuates a cycle of consuming. We become such consumers that we consume one another. Men, what I'm saying is, without spirituality, without a belief system that we all are being held accountable to our actions, without that system for our own governance, we are shit. We are shit, and our culture is proof of that. Out.